Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Let me see if I can. Yeah, I see myself. Hi, guys. How was today's contest? Let me also say in the Telegram channel that uh this stream is started. So, how was the contest today for you guys? And by the way, today we have an important assignment in the Telegram channel as well. I got TLE in 2 problems, so. What about the rest of you? By the way, guys, let me send this. This is the link of our Telegram channel. As I said, today we're gonna have a important assignment in the Telegram, important announcement in the channel. TLE, my second contest, and I solved 2 problems, A and B, and he hit TLE in D. But the second C for a long time. It's okay, we are gonna solve it. And you're gonna see that how easily it can be solved. You're gonna fully understand it. Okay, maybe we should wait a few minutes before the rest of you join as well. In this time, those of you who have done roadmaps, guys, how is roadmap? Give me honest feedback about roadmaps. If you had time, if you had done that before. I always try to use the time for, roadmaps. The roadmaps that we have on RepoVive. Like this dynamic programming roadmap where we teach stuff. And guys, we have added many memes as well. Thanks to our team, we have added many great memes as well. Now that it has a lot more photos and graphics. The team is really working hard, guys, to make it as good as possible. By the way, if you want to see the roadmaps, you can see them here. Yeah, give us definitely some feedback about how we can make it better, because we are working all the time to make it better, and this is a great opportunity for us to talk to you and see how we can make it better. TLE on D problem, I got 4 problems. Why is video is okay? Maybe, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna solve them. We're gonna solve these problems today. If all of you are here, we can start. By the way, you haven't given me any feedbacks yet. I would love it if you hear some. As much as we try to tell you things and give you, give you tips and solutions, you can give us some tips about how we can make our stuff better as well. And that would be really, really helpful. Okay, so I think that, let's, without further ado, start talking about the problems. So, let's start from the first problem. Let me bring my screen, my whiteboard. Feedback for the roadmaps. The roadmaps that we prepared. Give us some feedback and tell us, the roadmaps are free. And that's something I will talk to you about you as well. So far, everything that we have on the website are free. And actually, we are paying for that. That's something, if you want to support us, that would be really great. But yeah, I will talk about that later. Let's talk about the problems. So the first problem that we're gonna solve is problem A, is that it says that a positive integer x is a perfect root if there exists an integer y such that root y is x. For each test case, you have to output n distinct perfect roots. So what is the main fact in these problems? The main fact is that perfect roots is nonsense. It's just an integer. So every number is the perfect root of something. Every integer number. I mean, like any number, like say 7. I mean, just randomly. It's root of 7 squared. Each integer x is root of x squared. So you can just see in n and see out numbers from 1 to n. They are all perfect roots. So that's how problem A can be solved. So you just see in n output problems 1 to n. If you want, I can implement it as well. So I use let me use normal modes instead of VIM mode. You can just, I had my template set, but it's because it's not in this account, it's not working. So I very quickly implement it. So you just have int of t and n, sin t, while t minus minus, sin n, for int I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus, cout I. That's all. Okay, is it completely clear? Yeah, it's weird. I'm gonna submit it without testing. Let's see what happens. Okay, it doesn't let me submit yet. It says you should be registered to be able to submit. So for now, I think submission is closed until the testing will be finished. But anyway, that's the whole thing. If it's completely clear, please put a plus or use this emoji, this 100 emoji. This was good. What was good? Yeah. 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 Yeah, you kind of hesitate. Like, is it really this easy? I mean, maybe you misread something or. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, let's now move on to the next problem. Problem B. Prefix Max. It says that you are given an array of n integers a1 to an. The value of an array is the sum of maximums of each prefixes of the array. More formally, the value of an array A is sigma of max of A1 to AI. You want to you want to find the maximum possible value of the array A after at most one operation. So you can swap two elements only once, and at the end you want to maximize this value. So again, if you take a look at this, the best thing is that if you just find the total maximum and bring it to the first place. If you just bring the total maximum to the first place, then all these values will be equal to, all of these values will be equal to A1, which is your total maximum. For example, in this example, the best thing is that if you swap this 5 and 2, then 5 comes at the beginning, and the maximum of all prefixes will be 5. In this one, it's the best to keep 5 at the beginning. Then the maximum of all prefixes are 5. In here, it's the best to keep 3 at first. Then the maximum of all the 3 are 3. In here, it's the best to put 7 at first. Then the maximum of all the prefixes are 7. So basically, your answer will be the maximum times the length of the array. If you bring the maximum to first, then your answer would be maximum times the length. Is it also clear? So that's how. If you want, I can implement this one as well. By the way, guys, our extension, as you can see, has brought something new. This is the updated version of our extension. We have dark mode for Codeforces as well. But anyway, it's not important for now. But if you want, I can implement this one too. Okay. Super clear. Awesome. Yeah, you can either sort or you can just find the maximum. Both works. Okay, so let's move on to problem 3 now. I will submit this when we can submit this. I think for now we cannot submit this. The third problem, shifted max. This is maybe the first problem that some of you had issues with. So this is this is the first problem that actually gets a bit complicated. So let's talk about it. It says that you're given an array of n integers a1 to a, and you're allowed to perform the following operation once. Select an integer x, and for each value I, set ai equal to ai plus x. For example, if a is equal to 1, 3, 4, 2, and you perform the operation with x equal to 3, a is now equal to this. So basically, you want to shift the numbers in a way that the max would be maximized. Max is defined as the smallest non-negative integer that is not present in the array. Now assume that I add x to all the numbers. X can be negative as well. Then, do you agree that I should find the first non-negative number that is not there? So for example, I should start from 0 and find 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Find the first number that is not there. Do you agree that the value that is 0 now was initially negative x? The value that is 1 now was initially negative x plus 1. The value that is 2 now was initially negative x plus 2. And so on. So it's like I'm starting from negative x and I'm going forward and I find the first number that does not exist. So what I say is this, yes, exactly. It's counting the maximum streak. I say that assume that I find the maximum interval of consecutive numbers. So for example, in the second example, you see that I have 0, I have 1, I have 2, and I have 3. So the maximum of consecutive numbers is 4. It's like I have a streak of size 4. In this one, I have a streak of size 1. In this one, I have the numbers 2, 3, 4, 6. So I have a streak of length 3. In here, I have negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and 4. It's like I have a streak of size 4. I have 4 consecutive numbers. 4 consecutive numbers exist for me. In this one, we have negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I have a streak of size 3. These 3 consecutive, the maximum number of consecutive numbers that exist is 3. And in the first one, the streak is 1. And if I take a look at the answers, I see that yes, the answers is exactly these streaks. This is really 1. This is really 4. This is really 3. This is really 4, and this is 3. So basically my answers are the maximum size of a streak. Why? Because assume that I have a streak. Assume that from a number x, I have x plus 1, I have x plus 2, 2, I have x plus k. Then if I add negative x to all of them, this will become 0, this will become 1, and this will become k. So it's like my max will be k plus 1. So if I have a streak of size k plus 1 like this, at the end my answer will be k plus 1. So it's just enough to find out what is the count of the maximum consecutive numbers that exist in my array. And that's easy. You can just sort all the numbers and then just see that if this number, and for example, you can also get rid of the repeated numbers. And then you can just see that what is the maximum number of streak. Is it clear? Where can I download the CF dark mode? It's in our extension. I will tell you after talking about the solution. So basically, this problem says that if we want to shift the numbers, what is the maximum number of mix that we can get? Mix is the smallest negative number that does not exist. So basically, if you just sort the numbers and you just find that how many consecutive numbers exist, what is the maximum size of a streak that you have, then if you just have that, then you can have the answer. Let me also show you a code so that you can see it more clearly. So if you take a look at this code, for example, what he does, he's seen X and he says he stores all of them in a set, and he goes, I mean, basically, he has a for, he goes from the beginning to the end, and he says that if our current number is equal to the, we can last, like for example, keep the last number that we had in this streak. Whenever we find some number that is equal to that last number plus one, we can just add one to our streak. Whenever we find what if our number was greater than that, we have to reset the streak to one. So that's basically what we can get. Yeah, exactly. If car plus one is equal to next, then we say streak plus plus. Otherwise, if next was greater than car plus one, we will say that we will reset this streak. Okay, it's okay. I will talk about it. But for now, if it is clear, please put a plus. If it's not clear, put a minus. I just want to find out how clear is it for you. I mean, how is it for you? I would code it if we could submit, but it seems like we can't submit. Yeah, exactly. So let me tell you in a slower way. See, we have an array, right? We want to see that how much should we shift it so that it maximizes the value of mix. I say that it's just enough if you find some consecutive numbers. For example, if you find some consecutive number like 1002, 1003, and 1004, then you can add negative 1002 to all of these numbers. And then this becomes 0, this becomes 1, this becomes 2. So if you have 3 consecutive numbers, then you can create a mix of 3. If you have x consecutive numbers, then you can make a mix of x. That's the general rule. So the maximum mix that you can achieve is gonna be equal to the maximum size of a sequence of consecutive numbers. That's the maximum value of mix that you can achieve. Okay. Does this make sense so far? So far, is it clear or not? So basically, I say that the maximum mix that I can achieve is equal to the maximum size of the consecutive a consecutive subarray that I can have. Because if I have some consecutive numbers, then I can just shift them, and then I can have them to be equal to 0 to x minus 1. Any x consecutive numbers can turn into numbers from 0 to x minus 1. And this way I can easily find, get a mix of x. If it's clear, please put a plus or use this emoji. And if it's not, put a minus or let me know. Okay, so if that's the case, Then the question would be that, okay, how can we find the maximum length of positive consecutive numbers? Do you want me to code it or not? Let's have a quick quote. If there's no continuous, there's always at least a streak of size 1 because a single integer is a streak of size 1. So the answer is at least 1. There's always a streak of at least 1. No, yes, yes. Okay, so I will code it. So let me. This is the problem C. Okay, so we have T and then we have N and we have AX. Int of, I mean, we first define constant of N equal to 3000 plus 20, for example. Int of, let's define all of this. Let's define N and A of N globally. So I see in N and then I have for int of I equal to 0, I less than. By the way, in our editor, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but if you just write, I mean in VIM mode. In VIM mode, if you write 4, I think, or /4, I forgot what it was. Okay, it's just, yeah. If you write 4, it just writes a 4 for you. That was what I was trying to do. So yeah, basically I have a 4 from 1 to n, I see in AI, and then I will source them, source A plus n, and then I have 4 int of I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. I just keep track of what is the maximum size of a string that I've gotten so far, and what is the current size of the string, and what was the last number that I got. Initially, I set last to some number that is very low, for example, that it doesn't update anything. So I can either set last equal to negative inf, or I can assume that first I have the first number. So I can first assume that I start from A of 0, and then start my 4 from 1. I assume that, okay, I have A of 0, that is a streak of size 1. And my answer is 1 so far. And then whenever I get to each number, I say that if car was equal to last plus 1, I say, sorry, if A of I is equal to last plus 1, then car plus plus, last plus plus, ans equal to maximum of ans and car. Else, if A of I was greater than last plus 1, I reset car to 1, and then I say that I set car equal to 1 and last will be equal to AI. Let me just make it normal mode again. And just these two will be enough then. Just car equal to 1 and last equal to AI. Because then car will be reset, and we don't need to in here say ans equal to max of ans car. And at the end, you should just see out ans. That's going to be all. Let's test this on samples. On samples, it worked. It gave the exact sample. I don't know if we can submit now or not. No, Codeforces still does not let you submit. Yeah, so this is going to be all about the solution of this problem. So you start from the beginning. If you find a number that is equal to the last number, you got plus 1, car plus plus, last plus plus. If it was greater than last plus 1, car equal to 1, last equal to A. At the end, you will see out ans. Could you move? Okay. The issue is that wherever I move it to, at some points this would be a problem. I mean, okay, so now you can see it, right? This is the whole thing. So I say ans equal to 1, car equal to 1, last equal to 1, last equal to a of 0. And then I start from the beginning. If ai was equal to last plus 1, car plus last plus, ans equal to max of ans and car. And then else, if ai was greater than last plus 1, car equal to 1, last equal to ai. And at the end, I will see out ans. Is it fully clear now? Can we do indexing 0? What do you mean? While last is equal to a of 0. Because from at the beginning, I started my streak from the first element, from the smallest elements. So at the beginning, that's the only number in my streak. So it's the last number of my streak as well. And the length of the streak is 1, and my ans is 1 as well. Is it fully clear? I cannot understand. Yeah, why does it guarantees the largest possible mix? The reason is that, when you shift the elements, do you agree that mix, if your mix is x, it means that you have to have numbers from 0 to x minus 1. After shifting, it means that you need to have the numbers from 0 to x minus 1. Okay, where did these numbers come from? These are consecutive numbers. So before the shift, they should have been consecutive numbers as well. So it's not possible that your mix would be greater than that, because if your mix is greater than that, it means that we should have those many consecutive numbers. Otherwise, where did they come from? So that's always equal. Mix cannot also be greater than, that gives the maximum number. You cannot find a mix greater than maximum streak. Because otherwise, okay, where did those numbers come from? Okay. Shall we move on to the next problem? And about your question of dark mode on Codeforces, as I said, it's on our extension. If you just search RepoVive Chrome extension, it brings it for you. I just inactive it because I run it locally, but you should be able to, you can use it. Yeah. Do you know the proof now? I don't know, guys. If about the extension, other than dark mode, etc., the main point of it is that also you can have hints. You can ask for hints. You should only use your API key for that. You can get your API key. We also have added OpenAI and DeepSeek as well, that you can use any of these AIs, and they help you. You can ask for a hint for the problem. For example, if I open a problem like this one, for example, like I can say, give me a hint, for example. And it gives you, it's like you have a basically teacher. It's like you have us with you always. You have a teacher, you can say that, okay, I thought about it, give me a hint. So it will give you a hint. You can either use Gemini or ChatGPT or DeepSeek. You have to just set your API keys. And also it can change the theme of Codeforces as well, if that's something that you like. And also, other than this, you can open a problem on RepoVive and then submit your solution directly from here. It definitely gives compile error, but that's how it works. Okay, anyway. So that's about the extension. So shall we move on to the next problem? Why do we use char variable? Char is the current size of the longest streak. Char is the current size of the streak. I mean, the streak that we have right now. So char is equal to 1 initially. It's the size of the current streak. And when you find a number to add to it, the size of char increases. Otherwise, it resets to 1. And each time you say that ans is equal to max of ans and char. Is it clear, guys? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's move on to problem D then. I guess that it was fully clear. Problem D, out of memory error. It says that BASIC has an array of n integers a1 to an. BASIC performs m operations on the array. The operation number I is a of bi equal to a of bi plus ci. Unfortunately, due to rising RAM costs, BASIC's computer has limited memory, and whenever any element of the array is greater than h, her computer crashes, and every element in the array is reset to initial value. After all operations, updates the array A. I think one of you said the solution, basically, the idea of the solution in the chat just now. Guys, basically the point is that we actually try to be lazy in this problem. Sometimes being lazy actually is good, is efficient to be lazy. So being lazy means that just do something when we have to do that. I mean, right now, we have a solution that is slow. What is that? Is that after each time, just update your number. If it was greater than h, have a 4 on everything and resets them. It's just slow because in the worst case scenario, it can be off nm, right? Because worst case scenario, after each operation you do, 1 resets and you have to 4 on everything. It's will be off nm. So it's a solution that works, but it is slow, right? Is it clear so far? So I say that we can just do the operations. I mean, whenever it's greater than h, have a 4 on everything and just reset them. It's just too slow. If it's clear, please put a plus or say yes or use this emoji. If it's not, let me know. That's the first step. That's a slow solution. Is it clear? But the point is that why doing that? Let's just be lazy. I mean, the whole idea is that just be lazy. Let's just be lazy. And instead of updating everything, could what? Right now. I haven't explained the solution yet. Instead of updating everything, let's just update when you have to update. Right? So I do not keep updating all the elements each time. What I do is this. I say that when some number rises greater than h, I just reset that one, and I just ignore the rest. Instead, for each element, I keep that. What was the last time I changed that? So for each element, I keep that. What was the last time I changed that element? Okay. So when I have to change some elements, I will just do this. I will see that what was the last time that this element was updated. And then I see that what was the last time that I had to reset everything. If the last time this was updated is before the last time that I had to update everything, it means that I had to reset this, but I haven't done that yet. Right? So it's the best. I mean, if when I see this, I see that what was the last time that it was updated and what is the last time that everything had to reset. And I compare these two. If I see that this is not updated. I mean, this is before the last update and it is not updated. I say that, okay, now I update it. So the point is that why doing something when you don't really need to do it yet? I mean, it's actually like, if I want to give you an example, it's like you have a homework and its deadline is tomorrow. So why doing it today? You know, that's the whole point. Just do it when you are forced to do it. It's the first principle of being lazy. So you just follow the principles of being lazy. You say that, why do I update stuff when I don't really need to update them now? Let's just update them when I have to update them. Like if you have an assignment, let's just do it the last second, because before that, why to do that? I mean, you don't need to, right? It doesn't change anything. So that's the principle we use in this problem. You want to go update everything when something resets. Why do that? Why doing that? Just do that when you want to do with that element. Just keep for each element, keep some history. Just for each element, keep that, okay, when was the last time that I updated this element? When was the last time that this element was updated? Just keep this history. The last time you updated this. Also, keep that, what was the last time that everything was reset? And then when you want to change this and when you want to add something to this, first of all, check this. Check that when was the last time you updated this element, and when is the last time that everything is reset? If this was less than that, it means that you had to reset this, but you haven't done that yet. So you will reset it now. Now you are forced to do it. So don't do anything unless you're forced to do it. I mean, that's the whole principle of being lazy, right? So that's the whole idea. And if you do that, instead of doing off n each time, you will basically do off one each time after each operation. Yes, I will do dry run. And you can exactly see that how good is being lazy here. I mean, you can see that it's actually efficient. I mean, it's not like a bad thing, right? I mean, it's not always the case though, honestly, but anyway. So let me give you an example. I mean, dry run on an example. You have N, M, H, and AIs. So AIs are 1, 2, 1. I keep the history of them too. When was the last time you updated each one of these? I said that, okay, at the initial time, at time 0, they are updated to these values. 1, 2, 1. And I know that the numbers for reference are 1 to 1 as well. The original numbers are 1 to n. So these are the original numbers. These are the last time they are updated. And we also keep a value like L, that is the last time that I had to reset everything. So first, it says that add 4 to the first one. So this turns into, let me use another color. This turns into 5. It's not greater than H. It's okay. Then add 4 to 2. So you change this one to 6 first. But the point is that this is greater than H. So it should reset. So this is operation. I mean, if this was operation, let's number these operations 1, 2, 3, 4. So this means that at operation number 2, you have updated this. You have updated this one at operation number 1. You have updated this at operation number 2, and L is now 2. But you don't update this 5. Let it stay 5. I mean, I don't care about it for now. Let's just be lazy. We just update it when we need to update it. For now, no one is reading that. So the point is that if no one is reading that, why are you updating it now? And then you have to add 3 to the third one. So this one turns into 4, and the last time it's updated is 3. And then you add 0 to the second one. So this remains 2. At the end, now you have to output everything. You go over all of them. You see first the first one. Its value is 5, and it was last updated at point 1, at time 1. But you see that at time 2, everything was reset. So you have to reset it to 1 now. Then here you have a 2, And the last time it was updated was 2. And the last reset is also 2. So it doesn't need another update. It's just 2. This is 4. The last time it was updated was at time 3, which is after the last reset. So you don't need to change it. It's 4. So basically that's how it works. And at the end, it would be 1 to 4. So you just keep history of when was the last time you updated something, and when was the last time that everything was reset. You compare these two. And that's going to be how all will be done. Is it clear? Yeah, we can have either a pair of elements and time, or you can have different arrays, one for elements, one for times. Both works. Yes. You track the time, the last time you updated any of the numbers. The point is that when you reset everything, you do not go over all the other elements and update them. Instead, you just kind of expire their current value. The current values get expired. Why? Because last will become after their time, so their current value will be expired. And when the next time you want to access them, you first see that the first thing you see that, okay, this value is expired. The last time it's updated is before the last time everything had to reset. So you have to update it. Is it clear? Yeah, that's hard. I mean, Chinese girl friends on Iran are safe right now. Guys, pray for Iran. The situation in Iran is horrible. Really. I mean, there are some terrorists in Iran who are killing people, and no one is saying anything to them. I mean, they've killed 12,000 people. I mean, in just 2-3 days. I don't know what to say to these terrorists. I mean, there's a devil regime in Iran who's ruling, and they are okay to kill any person just to continue ruling. I mean, if people just say that we don't want you, they say, okay, we just kill all of you, but we don't leave. So I don't know what to say, but I just say that these are the worst kind of human beings on earth. I mean, I just pray for Iran and the people who are there, and pray that we can get rid of these monsters as soon as possible. I mean, I'm personally super mad at them for the monsters they are. Thank you. Okay, can you clarify why this approach would be effective when initiating from the final value and updating? Where are you? I'm in the US right now. I'm not in Iran. Updating until the value falls below it, or alternatively returning. Initiating from the final value, updating until the value falls below it. There might be a solution as well that we can start from the final value and come back. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I think that the main solution should be this lazy approach. Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I don't think so. When we are starting from last and updating till value is less than h. Did your solution get accepted? Why resetting the list every time ineffective? Because each time you have to do O of n to update all of the values, right? So your time complexity would be O of nm, which is too much. Instead of that, we just say that, okay, let's just expire those values. Let's just set our time of last update to right now. Then everything that the last update was before this would be uh, expired this way. What if a number was updated before and after the resets? What will happen? Yeah, the point is that after the resets, it's expired, right? The last time it was updated was before the last update that has happened, right? So the next time you go over it, the next time that you will go over it, you see that, okay, the last time it was updated is, for example, at time 4, at operation 4. The last time the whole array was reset was at time 7. So you see that, okay, this value that is here is expired. So you will just put the original number here instead. That's how we do it. If it's clear, please put a plus. If it's not, put a minus. You can either also use this emoji as well. I used the method you are teaching and it was accepted. Awesome. Operation on the new one and then... the point is that if you have another array, then copying that whole array into this array would take too much time. Perform operation in reverse order and simply stop when element becomes greater than h. Maybe that works too, yeah. Maybe. Yeah, that can work too. Yeah. That can work too, I think. Probably that works too. If you start from the end, at least my intuition says that that works. If we go from the end and keep adding, the first time it goes above h, it means that, yeah, this... But is it? No, it's not. It's not. It's not right. Let me tell you why it's not right. It's not correct. Okay, I will ask you if you want to code or go over the next problem. But this approach of starting from last and stop when h is great, some number is greater than h, would not work because assume that you have only one number. Your h is, for example, 5, and your number is initially 1. Then your operations, assume that your operations are like this. You have 5 ones. 5 times you add 1 to this. Then if you do this approach of going from last and stop when your number is greater than 5, you report 5 as your final answer. You say that, okay, this number will be 5 at the end. But the point is that if you go forward, you see that at the end, your number will turn into 1 again, not 5. So, for example, this is an example that's counterexample for that. If you go from last and go backward, the point is that you basically assume that, okay, all these operations can happen on this. But the point is that in here, I mean, at the end, you're going to reset. So that's not going to work. Okay. Do you guys want to code this one or talk about the next problem? I mean, choose one to be able to... Which one do you guys prefer? Thanks. By the way, guys, I again invite you to take a look at the roadmaps. Our team spends too much time on the roadmaps to have them with the best possible quality. Take a look at them, and we added so many memes. Yeah, I just said that. I don't get that. Take a look at the roadmaps as well. We've spent so much time on it. I hope that you will like them. And so far, based on your feedbacks, you've liked them. And if you want to support RepoVive, you can come to this. I mean, to keep RepoVive alive, you can come to this page to support us. Right now, we're at a situation that we're spending $2,000 a month to keep RepoVive alive. and we're spending it out of pocket. And as the number of our users is growing, now we are around 5,000 users, over 5,000 users. As it's growing, this number is growing as well. And if we cannot sustain it long term, RepoVive cannot continue. So if you want to support that, we would deeply definitely appreciate it. We also have plan of maybe creating a premium membership. I mean, that's something that we have in mind, so that at least with that we can sustain the costs of RepoVive. But yeah, we have an announcement on our Telegram channel today that we will tell you about it. Yes, exactly. You're going to perform the operations after the last reset. But the point is that you should have the numbers to be able to know that when was the last reset, right? Okay, code or next one? Next. Code, next. Okay, next is more. So let's move on to the next one. And guys, there's something that I just remembered. Let me also tell you this as well. Guys, we are starting a new type of live streams on Instagram. The only weird rule that Instagram has is that you need to have 1,000 followers in order to be able to have live streams on Instagram. We are at 351 right now, and we post educational stuff in there as well. So if you can support us there so that we can get to 1,000 as soon as possible and we can start this new type of live streams. That's something that would be deeply appreciated as well. This is a project that I'm sure that you're gonna love it, but you have to push it a bit so that we can get there. Deleted Insta to login, for example. Yeah, I get that. That's a good choice actually. I mean, I really recommend to deleting Instagram. But if you have Instagram, support us there. Okay, the next problem E, I think this is the first problem that I haven't read before, but it's okay. I'm going to read it and we're going to solve it. I mean, I'm going to solve it in front of you. The robotic rush, it says that there exists an infinitely long number line. On the number line, there are n robots and m spikes, each located at a specific point on the number line. The ith robot is located at position AI, and the ith spike is located at position BI. If a robot touches a spike, it dies. K instructions are transmitted to the robot, with each instruction being to either move left by 1 unit or move right by 1 unit. For each value, outputs how many robots are still alive after the first I instructions have been processed. Okay. So, guys, when I see such a problem, the first thing that comes to my mind is this. You just care about for all the robots, the movements are the same, right? For all the robots, the movements are the same. The instructions are the same for all the robots, right? If I understood the problem correctly. For all the problems, for all the robots, the instructions are the same. So the point is that you just take a look at these instructions. Assume that we have a robot at point 0. Just do the instructions with this robot. At each point, see that what was the maximum number of the farthest point at left that it can reach and the farthest point on right that it can reach. For example, let's assume that our instructions are like this: L, L, R, 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 L. Then, if a robot is initially at point 0, after this it would be at point -1, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 1. So if at each point we just take care of what was the farthest points we have seen on left so far, And what is the farthest point that we have seen on right so far? First, let's just talk about left. On left, I want to see that so far, what is the farthest point on left that I've seen? In here, it's 0 at the beginning because we're at point 0. In here, it becomes -1. It becomes -2 here. And then from here, we never go to anything farther than -2. So it always remains -2. So the farthest points that we can see to the left is -2. We can get rid of these negatives as well and say that, okay, we can go left by 1, left by 2. So far, the farthest distance we've seen to the left is 2. And to the right, we can define something like this the same way. It's 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, 1 here, 2 here, and 2 here. So it's like this is the prefix min, just remove the signs. This is prefix max, basically. So I just keep in mind that what is the farthest distance that I have seen to the left and the farthest distance that I've seen to the right. I should take care of these two. Is it clear? If it's clear, please put a plus or use this emoji. Is it clear what we are doing? Okay, so I will repeat this once again. I'm saying that let's assume that a robot, for each robot, I want to see that after k operations, I'm going to ask a robot that how much you went to left, maximum distance that you've seen to the left, and what is the maximum distance that you've seen to the right. For example, assume that for this robot, I want to see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I ask that at time 6, what is the farthest point on left that you've seen so far? What is the farthest point on right that you've seen so far? For example, here at time 6, the maximum distance that you have seen, a robot has seen to the left, is by distance 2, because at this point, it goes to left by 2. And the maximum is seen to the right is 2 as well, because at the same point, at this point, you have seen your right by 2. So at each point, I can see that each robot, how much has it seen to the left and how much has it seen to the right. I can just keep track of these numbers. Okay, is it clear now? I just keep track of how much you went left and how much you went right. I'm just asking about the experience of the robot, not where it is now, but its experience. Like, how much have you experienced going left? How much have you experienced going right? Yes, exactly. I once tried to just calculate these ranges just once, and then we use that. How do you get the correct idea to the point within less than a minute? Yeah, the point is that, as I said multiple times, you have to solve a lot of problems. Again, I really recommend to you, basically, I know that a lot of you have this question that how to train, how to learn this stuff. And that's exactly why our team created these roadmaps. You can just, right now, you can learn anything on these roadmaps. And other than that, you can learn any algorithms on RepoVive as well. If you go to repovive.com/algorithms, all the algorithms, you can learn them on RepoVive, like Bellman Ford, for example. You can learn it, and then you have a judge that you can implement it. So if you want to learn stuff and reach this idea, this is basically the way that we are trying to enable you to do that. Okay. What will be the CTC? We get to that. We get to time complexity. For now, I'm just saying that I haven't told you about the time solution yet. I'm just saying that at the beginning, I'm just trying to calculate that for a single robot, how far to the left you've seen, how far to the right you've seen so far. That's the thing that I keep track of so far. Okay. That's what I keep track of. And then so far, If anyone has any problems, let me know. Now I say that for each robot, let's calculate its distance to the first bump to its left and the first bump to its right. If I calculate the distance of each robot to the first bump to its left and the first bump to its right, then it's like I have to find the first time that this robot can experience something that goes that much to left or that much to right. For example, I can do a binary search for this robot. For this robot, I can do a binary search. And for example, I do a binary search on T. I can see that at time T, how much you have experienced going left and how much you have experienced going right. If, for example, the first spike to the left of this is by distance 5 and to the right of it is by distance 7, then if the robot has experienced at least 5 steps to the left, going left by 5 to the left, or going by 7 to the right, if it has experienced that, it means that at that time T, this robot is dead. Otherwise, this robot is alive. That's why at the beginning I calculate that at each time, what is the maximum left and maximum right we have experienced so far. That's the reason. And just you can, for example, do a binary search and just calculate. But it can be done without a binary search as well. But I mean, binary search works too. I mean, it's a very easy way to understand it. So you can just run a binary search and see that how much you go to left at that time T, how much you go to right, and then you find out if this bot will be alive at that time. What if a robot hits a spike on its first step? Then calculation range will be inefficient. We don't calculate the range for each spike. We calculate the ranges once. Just once we calculate the ranges. Do you mean that I have to find the time when the robot will die? Yeah, I mean I find the time where the robot is gonna die. Great, Manish. You're welcome. No. We calculate the range once. The range does not change. The range, it only depends. I mean, it depends on what you mean by the range. This range only depends on the instructions. So only by the instructions you can understand that at each point how much you went left, how much you went right. Maximum. Now for each robot, you can just see that what is the first spike before it, what is the first spike after it. And then you can do a binary search and just compare these values. Why the hell this happens? Just compare these values. Okay. The point is that the calculating these ranges are very easy as well. You can either use 2-pointer to find out the first spike that is before you and the first spike that is after you, or you can use binary search again. But anyway, you just need to find the first spike before your robot and the first spike after your robot. And then you just compare these numbers with how much you go to left and right at time T. Time complexity, exactly, is n times log of k. This way, you can, for each robot, find out what is this? This way, for each robot, you can calculate when it's gonna die. And when you know that when each robot is gonna die, you can just say that, okay, this robot is alive at the first 4 seconds. You just have a prefix sum and say that, okay, you add 1 to the first 4 seconds, for example. Does it make sense? We just calculate the farthest points that you went left and you went right at each point. At each time, you know that until this time, how much have you go left, how much have you been right. The maximum amount of time you've been to left and right. You just calculate this, and then you do a binary search. And in this binary search, you see that at each specific time, how much you've been left, how much you've been right. If it was more than your distance to the first spike, it means that you've hit that spike. Then because you've hit that spike, then definitely you'll be dead by that time, right? Yeah, we can either dry run or code, but just probably because this we have only few minutes left, we can't get to problem F anymore. But it's okay. Let's ensure that you guys have understood problem E. I have to attend something in couple of minutes, so I'm gonna just make sure that you have understood problem E fully. So basically, guys, the idea is that let me show it to you on an example. For example, in here, you have RRL. I've already done dry run on a better test case, on a bigger test case like this. If you've understood how L and R worked, like how much you go left and how much you go right, at each point of time, you have tracked that how much have you been left and how much have you been right so far. Okay, at each point of time, you keep track of these two things. The maximum you've seen to the left, the maximum you've seen to the right. You can assume that you have a robot at point 0, and you just move these robots. And then just see that what is the leftmost and rightmost places that you've seen so far. And then if you do that, then you know that at each time, how much you've been left, how much you've been right. If you know that what's your distance to the spikes, then you can find out if this robot dies or not. For example, let's do the dry run on this test case. We have RRL. So if we start from the beginning and we see that how much we go left, how much we go right, how much have we went right, you see that we have, after the first time, we've seen point 1, so we go to right by 1. We go to right by 2, and then we are right by 1. So the maximum remains 2. For L, it always remains 0. Because you are in here at point 1, in here you're at point 2, in here you're at point 1, in here you're at point 0. So L, as I said, is prefix minimum, R is prefix maximum. So R says that at each point, how much, I mean, if you take a look at, if I ask you a question, after 3 seconds, after 3 operations, what is the farthest point on the right that you've seen? You're going to tell me that the rightmost point that I've seen is the point that is by distance 2 to me. I mean, I went to right by 2. If I ask that, how much have you went to left? What is the farthest point on left that you've seen? You say that I didn't go to left. I just, the maximum point to the left is the point I am. So that's how it works. And now, for example, you have the robots at points 1, 3, and 7. First, you have the robots and then the spikes, right? Yeah. So now you have robots at points 1, 3, and 7, and you have spikes at points 6 and 9. For each robot, I see that how much was my distance to the first spike to the right and to the left. This only has a spike to the right by distance 5, this has a spike to the right by distance 3, this has a spike to the left by distance 1, and a spike to the right by distance 2. So for example, for 1, I see that it never dies. Because you have to at least go right by 5 to have it die. That never happens. For 3 also, you have to go right by 3 to die. You never do that. For 7, you have to either go right by 2 or go left by 1 to die. You see that at time 2, I go to right by 2. So at time 2, it will die. So 2 robots will always remain alive. 1 robot will die at time 2. So initially we have 3 robots alive, but from time 2, 1 of them will die. If you just keep track of how many robots die at this time, then you can just say decrease the number of robots by 1 there. Is it clear? How do we find first spec to the left and right of the lobot? Do we go linearly? Yeah, as I said, you can either use two pointer or you can use binary search. Either by two pointer or binary search, you can find out that what is the first element that is less than or equal to this element before this. How do we find first? Okay, how do we binary search on this and store the mean index always? I don't understand what you mean, but I initially calculate the prefix minimum and prefix maximum. Initially, I do that. Yeah. Is it clear now? If it's clear, please put a plus or use this emoji again. If it's not, let me know. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Great, guys, great. Yeah, I mean, sorry that, I mean, in these days, I'm not feeling very good because of what is actually happening in Iran. Uh, I don't know if you have heard about these things or not, but I really hope that we can get rid of the monsters that are there and are just killing our young people for ruling by force. I mean, I just hope that this ends as soon as possible and we don't see the face of these people anymore in our country. And as I said, we have an announcement today on our Telegram channel. So if you want, you can join our Telegram channel for this announcement. When will I receive repo by random price? Yeah, sorry for that. I mean, a lot of things are into each other. We're gonna give you the prices of the second round has not been processed yet. The first round is processed, but the second, other than I think one person, there was an issue with her. But other than that, the prices of the first round are processed. The prices of the second round are not processed yet. And we're sorry for the delay. You know that the situation has gotten very weird. But we will try to process it as soon as possible. If possible, keep RepoBuy free so we can learn continuously. We definitely try to keep it free as much as we can, but the point is that at the same point, we have to sustain RepoBuy. As I said, right now it's okay. We are okay to pay for that. I mean, right now we are paying, as I said, $2,000 per month for RepoBuy. But the point is that we cannot really make it something valuable if we cannot cover our costs. At least we should make it some point that we can cover it. I mean, that it will be a net zero. That's our goal. I mean, right now, that's our first goal. The second goal that I have personally is to actually pay people for the time they spent. But thankfully, we have great people that they are okay with working just for free, and that's really good. But the point is that this way, we have only limited resources. I mean, they cannot spend much time, etc. Because we know that we're all human, and we know that I cannot expect them to just keep working free. And the point is that we just try to make it in a way that at least we can cover these costs at the moment so that we can continue repo work. Because otherwise, you have seen maybe probably before. Some websites come and just do something and then they say that, oh my God, we have to pay too much money for this. And at some point they cannot do this. So are you getting any revenues or not yet? No, we have no revenues right now. We're just paying. I mean, right now I'm paying, as I said, last month I paid a bit over $2,000 for RepoVive for both building and running RepoVive, considering the prices and everything. So yeah, I mean that's the situation. So if we want to at least, I mean, I personally am okay if I work, I mean, for free, etc. But the point is that I cannot expect others to do that. That's one thing. And the second thing is that until some point I can pay personally, but the point is that if it keeps rising, then there's some point that we're like, oh my god, uh, we cannot really keep doing it. Yeah, we are looking for sponsors. That's the idea. Like Codeforces. Codeforces has sponsors that let them uh, cover their costs, lets them pay people who have contests. That's how Codeforces does it. And we are looking for sponsors. So if you know anyone who might like to sponsor RepoVive, definitely introduce us to them and introduce them to us. I mean, if anyone is interested, we are also looking for that, and we are in talks to find a sponsor. Yeah, I mean, we are basically uh, doing all we can to be able to enable RepoVive to grow. And I hope that, I mean, we find a way as soon as possible. Thank you, guys. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye for now. You're welcome, guys. TCS Codevita. I will take a look at it. Have lessons from RepoVive 101. We can think about that. We were also thinking about having a camp, a boot camp or something. Yeah, we are actually thinking about all the ways that we are thinking, and yeah, we see that what is happening. As I said, yeah, there's one thing that our team has prepared, and we're gonna actually announce it today. Sure, sure. I hope that it really helps, and I hope that we find the correct solution to sustain it long term. Because you know that, I mean, when you want to make it a company that actually serves the world, the point is that that's where you have to find a way to sustain it. I mean, it's way more complicated than we initially think, because everything is bringing some costs, etc. It's not easy to build something that's can actually serve people very well. And there are some challenges that come to you that you're like, okay, I have to solve these challenges now. But yeah, together, I hope that we can do that. Again, if you wanted to donate to RepoVive, it's something that if you are interested in, that's definitely no obligation to do that. You can do it from here. But by the way, as I said, we are trying to find out some additional features that we can give uh, to some people who want to support RepoVive. And this way we can actually maybe cover some parts of our costs. Okay, so I'll see you guys. The easy way you explain stuff will help. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye for now.